Alright, here we go. How we doing, everybody? Doing ourselves a little scanner mission here. What?
Where am I freaking... Where am I headset at?
Yeah. So, bro, you're live on YouTube. Yeah. I don't think anybody's paying attention to us. I actually don't know if your voice will broadcast or if it's just mine, so it's my first time even trying to do this, but I figured I'd do it while I'm finishing up the scanner mission here. Karen's trying to figure out how to get in so she could check it out. So, what was the name of the system you're going to?
I'm in the harness system.
Okay, that's where the community goal is.
Community goal, yeah. And I'm going to
Celebi. Oops.
I'm just going to pay off my bounty before I try and find someplace to
Okay.
hopefully not get my ass killed.
Incoming message. Incoming mission critical message.
Okay. Go over here, scan this one. Apparently I'm not trespassing at this one, so I'm not getting shot at. Last time I came down here, they thought I was not supposed to be here and they shot at me. Okay. Okay, links are done. Time to get out. Alright. Alright, welcome back, bud. Whoa, whoa! Oh, a little fast there, okay. Go dock back up and get out of here and turn these in. Alright, for anybody that's paying attention to this, I'm just finishing up some scanner missions. What's up, girl? Hey, Karen, you hear him? You hear Trev? Okay. Okie dokie. Let's see here. Back up in the ship. Okay, so basically, Karen, what you're looking at is this is the inside of the ship that I'm in. I'll start from the outside in, kind of give you a view here. Okay, so this is your little ship you start with. And, oops. Not very good at all these controls yet, but there's your pilot and whatnot. Anyway, I'm at this planet. It's in a system out here in space. I believe the planet next to it is called Quince. Now, these planets are not in our immediate solar system, like by Earth or nothing like that, but it's in the galaxy. And this is actually just kind of like an exploration thing. So what it is I go to a space docking station like you've seen briefly yesterday, and then I go there and talk to somebody, and they give me a mission to go to different places and scan. I came here to scan. I just got done doing that and drove back into my ship here. And now I'm going to take off and go turn them in, and then we're going to go and hook up across somewhere here. I don't know if I can make it before he has to go to work, but I'm going to try and hook up with him in a different system out in space where the aliens are trying to encroach on us. These aliens are like, I don't remember what they're called, Thargoid? Is that it, Trev?
Yeah,
Thargoid?
this doesn't really have anything to do with that.
Oh, okay, I thought it had some.
It's a community goal, but it's not has nothing to do with Argo.
Okay.
It's just another community.
Oh, man, it's wicked looking. It is beautiful out here. So this is kind of like a look around inside my ship here. My crotch cam. And we got the yes, Trev plays, I play, his son plays a little bit. Actually, my what do you call it? My fleet leader on Star Trek Online for our fleet, he actually plays in this, and he was streaming a couple weeks ago. It's kind of helping him out a little bit here and there. His name's Blizzard. He's got some cool stuff that he does. But yeah, there's a few of us that play. It's actually quite a big community. It's all going on all at the same time, whether you're playing solo play or open play on with everybody else or not. Everything's constantly fluctuating, kind of like our world is on Earth. The economy, criminal justice, everything, you know, piracy. There's good, there's bad, and everything like in our world, but out here in space, and it's pretty much as far as your imagination can kind of go. It goes with it. It's not so linear of a game. I mean, if you don't pick some goals, you could get really bored.
I'm probably gonna disappear on your bro for a minute because I games for my Spotify on.
Right on.
Cannot comply.
I'll talk to you when you get back there, bud. Yep. Get rid of these dang missions here. Okay, for instance. That's the wrong thing. Okay, so what we're going to do is come over here to our navigation screen, get our map up. Excuse me. There we have space. And somewhere in this mess, there is... where's Sol at? Somewhere around here is the Earth's solar system. Not really sure yet. I was somewhat close to it before. I don't recall where it's at right now. Anyways, so... let's go to here. And going the wrong way. Wow, I'm so far away from it. It's unreal. I gotta just do it this way and get there quicker. Alright, so here's our galaxy map. This is basically your outside view of space. It is ginormous. As you can see, it's monstrous. Oops. No, I'm not in the group. I was in a chat group with him. Okay, we're gonna go to the system map. Okay, so this is an example of, like, say, our system, but it's not our system. Each system has a star or several stars, and that would be basically that's the sun. Okay, and then you have different planets in your solar system. You know what? I got an idea. Let me set my marker here real quick to my space station. But I could show you Earth. Yeah, I knew it was somewhere somewhat nearby. Okay, so Sol system. This is our galaxy. I'm about to show you. This is our charted galaxy, if it loads. Can you hear my voice okay? So, like I was saying, our solar system, this is our sun, and you've got Mercury and Venus, Earth, yeah, Mars, asteroid belt, Saturn, or excuse me, Jupiter. Some of its smaller planets or moons, I guess they would be, and then Saturn, its moons. And so forth. As you can see, we have some other ones, other moons or planets way off. Oh, Trev's not with me anymore. I forget what he's doing, but he'll be back. But yeah, this is an example. So this is our solar system we're looking at. So when I say like system space, this would be in reference to this, each system. So basically, when you warp around, it's not quite like Star Trek's warping from system to system, but it is in the same sense that you're bouncing from star system to star system, okay? And you'll actually see that here momentarily. Well, after I turn in the quest and collect my money and stuff like that, we'll be picking a different ship and then heading out to where the community goal is. There's community goals that go on in the galaxy, and right now we have one that's They're basically doing bounty hunting missions to get rid of pirates and stuff that are robbing the cargo vessels and stuff for the Federation out there. There's many different superpowers. Two major factions right now that seem to be in play or preparing and to deal with the alien stuff that's going to be happening is kind of the Federation and the Imperial factions. And okay, I can read what you're posting pretty good there. Okay. So basically, yeah, going to do the community goal, get some faction and stuff while we're out there, and you actually make a lot of money doing these things. So we'll go back here and wipe that out. I could just cheat and like smash into the planet and pay for another ship and get a free ride back to the planet after dying and stuff, but I'm just gonna fly there. I'm actually here right now. And this is where we're going. Yeah, I could even turn up the frame rate and the graphics more, but that would cut out the mic recording altogether. Actually, it would cut out the entire recording altogether. I didn't really want to do that. Right, Millerport. Data point until... okay. Here's an example of Imperial faction. Imperial is pretty much the power over here. They seem to be in the control over here. They have active military and police forces all over the galaxy, control points, actual wars and stuff. I mean, stuff gets kind of... there he is, right there. Alright.
Landing gear retracted.
And I just love doing stuff like that. Whoops. Bye-bye, planet. If I can remember my camera controls here, but yeah, this is basically what we call the ass crack of the galaxy. It's the shit stain. If you ever get lost by a planet, you kind of look for that, and it doesn't give you your bearings in any sort of way, but you know it's, at least that's the direction I'm looking at all the time when I screw up coming off of planets. You know, you know you're generally getting away from the planet that way. Alright, we're going that way. Let's get Super Cruise. So there's two different types of traveling like this. You've seen me kind of flying around and I'll boost. Oops. What do you mean beep beep beep? Oh. Isn't it lined up right, my vector? And then, like, right now I'm going into what's called Super Cruise, which is just basically, like, impulse speed for, like, a Stargate or Star Trek fans, you know? And as I'm slowly pulling away from the planet here, I gotta do this Super Cruise kind of thing. And the reason for it is, you slowly gotta accelerate speed away from the gravity of this ginormous planet. Once we let it get out of this atmosphere some. There we go. Start picking up speed a lot better and faster now. Right? Feels like that most days. So how does this look over there? Ah, New America. Quince visitor beacon? Yeah, see, there's a navigational beacon over there that's a... Oh, slow down. Evasive maneuvers. Some planets zoom right on by you if you don't catch them, and this one, Millerport, and that planet there that you got to go to is extremely close to each other. They're not far off at all. Safe disengage. Oh yeah, it is really cool and realistic. I mean, this ship doesn't really give you a whole lot of detail with it. Like when I'm looking around, you only get to see so much. But my cargo transport or my my airline kind of thing, they you can see through the floor and see a lot more around you. And you really, especially when I go to land, you really get the feel of whoa, you know, like you're gonna fall or something. Background's a bit dark. Okay. I'll try and... That might just be a matter of you having to change your TV setting or whatever you're using. The brightness, something like that maybe. Oops. Better contact them and get permission to dock, or they will shoot me out of the sky.
Permission granted. Set down on landing pad 27.
Okay, now this guy doesn't have autopilot, but what, like my big airliner, it has auto docking, and when I'm using that, I could basically turn that on, and I could pop off to the camera mode, and I could show you like the entire process. Now this is like one big ginormous space station, kind of reminds me of a Stargate station in space. Out there in the distance, you see those trails? That's probably the Imperial police. Or, hard telling, you know. There's people coming to visit the station or whatnot. Yeah, there's a copper right there. Who's this guy? I don't have my scanning stuff equipped, but basically you can go so and check your contacts and see all the people that are flying around you right now. That guy's right in front of me. Oh yeah, he's flying in right now.
Please obey Imperial speed restrictions.
Yeah. Slowing her down. Alright, 27 is where I'm docking. It's pretty crazy, isn't it? Whoa. Get in there.
Please stay on current course. Your speed is good.
Alright, what's it? 27. Where's 27? There's 27. Whoa, look at that ship right there. Tell me that ain't cool. Whew. A lot of traffic right now. Get that landing gear on.
Landing gear deployed.
And there's my first landing for you.
Touchdown confirmed. Execute system.
Now we're gonna go into the hangar.
Our facilities are at your disposal, Commander.
Pretty neat looking in there. This is the hangar. You don't do that within a certain amount of time. I think they give you about 5 minutes or so to get inside of a hangar or something, or just to take care of your business and leave. If you're still sitting on the landing pad and other people can't land, they'll get backed up outside like in real life, and eventually the starport will just blast you and use vacuum space to suck you out so that the people can come in. Just like you would imagine it to be in space, you know. Okay, let's see here. Starport services. Go turn in this quest. Make sure I refuel. So this is your basic HUD. When you come to a different starport, you pop up this screen here, and on the left here, it tells you a little bit at the top there about the time and the date and everything. Miller Port's where we are, the Empire. Quince Creative Holdings is the faction for this starport. It's an uncontrolled system, so basically it's not a anarchy system, but it's a lawless system. There's no major control there. Beam me up. Thank you. Sometimes those landings don't go like that, though. There's been times I come down nice and smooth, and I swear somebody left magnets on the ground, and it shoots me off to the distance, around the, left to the right. I got my little bit of bank money there. There it says balance. Everything in this point in time is kind of like later on where it's all done with credits. But you have your trade market here. This is mostly, they deal with agriculture here, but there's quite a bit of stuff between chemicals, food, consumer items, legal and illegal drugs and booze and things, medicines, machinery, minerals, slaves even. Technology, textiles, weapons, down to poop, bio-waste even. There's just good money in moving bio-waste, believe it or not. If that's what you want to do for a living, is being a sanitation cargo specialist, you can do so. It's really kind of ridiculous, but you can. Okay, so moving on. Your mission board, which is where I'm headed, is where you actually to go get different missions, whether they be, for example, they could be, well, they don't have nothing here, these guys. Oops, whoa. Okay, so the first guy here has nothing. These are different baby factions that are all at work here. Quince Creative Holdings is the major faction. It's in control of the starport here, I guess, if you want to call it that. But there's other sister factions, underlying ones. Some are pirates, some are politicals. It could be a whole conglomerate of stuff. It's really hard to say. For example, here's one type of award. Donate 3 units of consumer technology to them. It's basically iPods or cell phones or whatever the crap, just something. And it'll give you rep and influence. Helps with ranking. This is kind of your breakdown menu for any quest or anything you get. It allows you to go to the map, and you can see if it's a place that you've that's been discovered that you can go to, or if it's a star that you actually need to go and explore too. But yeah, that's to give you an idea. So I generally I'll go check the system first, and then I'll accept things or not. Now these ones here are planetary scan jobs. That's what I did. Is I went to that planet and scanned. These are little baby ones. They don't really pay a whole lot right now. When my faction standing and stuff, reputation gets much better with them. Then that will change. It's more like the millions each time I go. To give you an idea of what kind of work, the last week I've spent 13 million of my hard-earned credits trying to work on faction, aside from doing these. Not factions so much like Klingon and Vulcan, because they're all basically human out here. Well, we're all human out here. From what I understand, there's definitely at least one alien entity. The Thargoids, I believe they are, or something like that. They're kind of like the insectoid kind of like guys from, like, say, You remember that movie Starship Troopers? They had those insectoid kind of aliens. It's kind of like that, I think. Pretty hostile, I believe. And it sounds like in the near future, especially the next update, they're going to be... I think we're going to war. Because they're encroaching our what we call habitable space. Once I turn in these rewards, I can show you what I mean by habitable space. There's only a certain area out here in this ginormous place that we know that's been explored that people are actually at. Because it's so huge in space. Uh-oh, I didn't mean to do that. Got button happy there. Claim your reward. Very good. Very good, that's right. Make the money. Scan job, see? We're not going to do that, though. So aside from that and the mission board, there also is a passenger lounge. Now here, if I had the appropriate ship or the appropriate setup on my ship, I can actually pick up passengers and bring them to places. Like this guy actually wants to go sightseeing. He's a famous explorer who wants to travel kind of far away and check out a place. Well, yeah. I don't know too much about the Bacula Enterprise. But yeah. Besides the passenger lounge, you got your contacts. You can go here to pay fines. Turn in bounties, if you have any. What?
The last thing.
Oh.
It's like it's the middle of whatever. I mean, is there more?
I know. It looks like that.
It's like an excerpt of like, where's the beginning and the end.
This universal cartographics, however you want to say that. I can't do crap here because I've already sold it. But as you're exploring the universe, you could sell the information, the actual mapping information. Ah, okay. And there's a crew lounge where you can hire people to help. They have this Galnet here. This is a non-stop news feed about everything that's constantly fluctuating and going on. And I mean, it is constantly fluctuating and going on like you wouldn't believe. So it's got a lot of stuff that's constantly going on here, and this is where you go to learn about it. Just to sum that up real quick, between factions or alien movements or stations getting locked down because people are doing power play advancements and trying to put systems under siege, or there's a lot of different things that can kind of happen there. And of course you got design your face and stuff, ship kind of stuff. You can load out your ship, for example, and get your weapons and stuff like that, and, kind of dick with shit. And you have your shipyard. That would be the ship I'm in. There is this little Sidewinder guy. There's not a whole lot of ships here, but there's different ones. This one's for hauling. Names pretty much takes care of that. This is the ship I wouldn't mind having. It's like one of the heaviest, dutiest, biggest haulers in the game. It's a nice little thing. And then, of course, the reason why we're here.
One left.
Thanks. I'm good anyway, man. Thank you. Um, so now this ship here would be my shitty airline. And there's nothing wrong with the ship. I just thought it'd be funny. Skinny tires on that bitch. Yes, it's very worth downloading it, Isaac. Thanks. One of the biggest things I would suggest that if you do, when you download it and you take a look into it, is before you let the game drive you into boredom or something, because it's such a big, massive game, and the world's constantly changing, just like our world is here on real Earth, you know. Oh, I gotta get rid of that cargo first. Sorry about that, Isaac. You want to set some goals, you know. Make small goals every time you go out. Put something in your mind and try to go and achieve it, so that way you don't get bored, because it's a very enormous galaxy and a lot of stuff in there. Ah, the picture's fuzzing. Thanks for watching, Isaac. Alright, let's go sell that inventory there real quick so I can switch into the ginormous ship. The picture's still fuzzing out there. Alright, let's switch. Alrighty, here we go. This ship here, guys, is your transport, your people transport, you know, your airline. Airline kind of thing. Makes some really good money transporting people, whether they be legally or illegally. I've transported politicians, accidentally did a couple criminals. I somehow managed to not get caught by the law. Yeah, I'd say the game's smooth and easy, provided that you have patience and you take the time to learn it, because it's a simulator. So it's, in comparison to a lot of other games that are out there, this is going to be the tougher, the harder one that takes more time. It can be complicated, but it doesn't have to be. I believe that if you take the time and you're patient, it won't be any more complicated than you make it. I kind of treated it when I first started playing like I had training wheels on my first tricycle, and I really took it just little baby steps. It took me an entire day to fly and land, and I wasn't bummed out about it, because it's a simulator and it is, you know, kind of tough, but it's very rewarding. In this game, you don't have to make it rich to feel rewarded. You could just make it to another planet and check out something cool in the galaxy while you're flying, and the experience itself feels almost as if you're doing it, you know, because you pretty much are flying it. And it's rewarding. The combat's pretty rewarding. The exploration seems to be pretty rewarding so far. I seen a beautiful star the other day. It was this bright white star that looked like it was in a rear view mirror. You know, the mirror that says objects appear farther than they are. This thing was really neat. Way off in the distance, had these blue ribbony kind of strands of gases coming off of it, so I thought it'd be neat to fly in one of those, and it actually sucked me in. Its gravity was so powerful, and it slowly ate away and peeled at my ship. It broke the cockpit glass, and I had to breathe and breathe and breathe until eventually I suffocated to death in the space. So, you know, the game can be complicated if you want to make it complicated, but the experiences are absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Okay, let's see here. I need to make sure I don't have a whole bunch of stuff going on here. I gotta be empty to fly light so I can go the farthest distance. I'm about to go fly to a different part of the galaxy to attempt to do a community goal there and do some combat. There's pirates and whatnot of that sort. Some Jack Sparrows, if you will, floating around and black pearls in space. Oh no, I just actually done doing a planet. It wasn't much of an exploration. It was more of a data thing. I landed there, took out a ground rover, like it would, the astronauts would do on the moon, and I went and flew, kind of drove over to this place, and thankfully it wasn't a hostile one, so I was able to go up, and you lock onto these data transmitters, I guess they would be, and then you scan them, and then I flew back here and turned them in for, I think I probably got about 1.4 million, which is incredible amount. When you first start the game, you're making couple thousand, tens of thousands maybe, where now I've only been playing for a few months, a couple hours here or there on a day, and I'm getting millions, 100,000s a mission or so. And there's a lot of stuff to do. You could be a bounty hunter, you could do cargo stuff, you could do mining, you could do combat, you can do whatever your mind really sets out to. Yeah, no problem. I don't do this all the time, but I'm going to try and do this at least once a week with some sort of different aspect of the game, I guess. Exploration I wanted to do tonight, but I'm exhausted. It's getting kind of late on a Sunday, so figure the next few days I'll probably do one with actual exploration. I got kind of expensive to set up a ship to do so, but I want to see something really neat and new, so I look forward to it in the next couple of days or so. I should have something up there. I also do some other game videos as well. Thanks for watching. Okay, let's see here. We're going to go check out the optionals. I'm empty, so I'm light, and I can fly my farthest. Okay, yeah, no problem. Actually, this guy, it's kind of like trying to fly a whale in comparison. Yeah, we had fun on the World of Warcraft. Okay, excuse me a second. I need to get in here to my navigational. I'll go to the galaxy map. I need to go back to, I guess, what I would consider my home base port. I keep moving around to different sections in the space because I'm trying to get down doing these community goals, because when the aliens come after us or the war starts here on the next release, I'll be honest, I have no idea what I'm doing when it comes to that, but I know that I want to be very much a part of the story of the game, and the sci-fi bug in me is really bitten when it comes to these aliens kind of thing, and exploration, and the fact that they're kind of encroach on our space. Anyway, you can make millions and millions and millions very easily doing these community goals. Like this one here, the bounty hunting one I'm going to be going to do here as soon as... one of my favorite things to do is bounty hunting. You don't have to be really good at flying, and you can get away with taking people down. I kind of fly with the cover of the police in the system, and when they start shooting on somebody, I'll get in a few shots and get my free money out of it. Okay. I got a lot of crap on this list here. Is this actually where I'm at? I don't think it is. Oh, I remember. Wait a minute. No. Well, you know what? I could get up into space first. I'll let you see me get up there, and then I'll deal with this. I gotta try and remember here. I got ships all over the place. Alright, so leaving the hangar here. I don't know if you're, Isaac, if you're familiar with like Stargate or Star Trek or anything, but this would be the inside of a spaceport. There's space docks, spaceports similar to this one. Planetary stations you can land on, quite a few different ones. Alright, let's see here. Whoa, 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 slow down, don't rise up there too much. Yeah, I'll try to give you an outside view. I have to kind of go slow though, so I don't get myself I smack into something, or you kind of make the wrong move and have a car crash or something in here, and they'll straight shoot you. They use a space vacuum to suck you out. But these different, see, there's different landing pads, like 39 there, over here. These are all different landing pads that you see. There's actually quite a few of them. Rule of thumb, when you start playing the game, or if you choose to, when you come to these docking stations, these green and red lights are exactly what you think they are. The red lights, you do not want to go on the right-hand side. That's where they're coming in. Holy cow. Look at this guy. That's a bigger version of me. I better move out of his way here. Now it's flashing red in the middle because these guys are coming in. This place is pretty busy. Holy cow. But it's gorgeous. I want one of those ships. They cost a lot of money. Like I said, you start out doing little missions for a couple thousand, tens of thousands. There's a cargo vessel right there. As you can imagine, this ship is very difficult to move around. The movements are slow and delayed because you're in space. It's not like driving a car or something like you'd imagine, because you're working with thrusters like on a shuttle or something. So you tell it to do something, and then a couple seconds later it's doing it. Let's get the hell out of there. Oops. But to give you an idea, there's what the starport looks like as I leave it. Figure out my controls here. I don't remember how to use them. Now here's my ginormous ship. I chose this one over the other one because it jumps farther distances every time I go from star system to star system. There's another ship right there going into land. And the neatest thing about space is, honestly, I could sit here and just let my ship go for hours. I can go to work and come back. It's going to take me days to even run into the sun, or that star right there. Okay, not to end the beauty there, but I got to figure out where I got to go here. Yeah, galaxy map. I'm going to do this rather quickly, so if it doesn't make too much sense, sorry, bear with me. I need to figure out where home is. Seems to be really far away. Holy crap. Jeez, I got a ways to go here. And the galaxy is just that ginormous. I mean, you don't have to feel any pressure when you're looking at this, because there's no rush at anything. You're not going to run into tons of people that are just amazing at this. I mean, it's so situational and so unpredictable, especially when it comes to the combat. Some days I feel like I'm a god and I'm just whooping butt like it's Call of Duty or any other video game that I'm really, really good at. And then 5 minutes later I run into that one pilot that sucks, but he's way better than I am. So I mean, it just goes to show that, you know, nobody's going to really get an edge too bad on you. It doesn't really matter so much as that, because it's a more of a community-based game. I've never been across such an amazing community of people before. There's a following on Facebook, and their community in there is extremely helpful and very informative. I mean, you get bored at work and you can sit there and read the feeds and what's going on in the galaxy, and know that when you log in at home later on, you're literally logging in those few hours later on what you just read off of the news. I mean, it's just like real world is functioning. It's constantly functioning out here. You could literally just buy a ship and a cargo bay and go and decide, I want to move, let's see here, consumer electronics, you know, TVs and cell phones, stuff to that nature, and just buy tons of it and bring it from a place that doesn't have it. I mean, a place that has it to a place that doesn't have it, you know? It's kind of like that. Alright, Aberwin, that's where I wanted to go. It's been a minute, so I forgot where I was going, but that was tricky. Okay. Sorry about that, a little bit of a delay there, but this is a whole different star system. Like normally you have our sun, and you have what was it? You know, Mars and Venus and Earth and Jupiter and Saturn and whatnot. This is a different star system. So you think when you look up at night and you see all these different stars out there, and it's like each star has probably got a little system of moons and planets and asteroid belts and, you know, debris. It's floating around with its own gravitational force around there. Oops. Okay, we're going to set this and plot a route to there. Over here on the left, it gives you a kind of a breakdown of the system, governments, state allegiance, population, the type of security in the system, how much they enforce in the system, different factions. It breaks it down into little sister factions and things like that. More importantly, it says Campbell Horizons, gives you a breakdown of different things, the relationship I have with them, the influence, their independent allegiance. They're in the move of expansion right now, and they're booming, which means there's a lot of money to be made. Their contracts will pay out more than your general contracts because they're going through a boom. So they're just absolutely rich right now. It's the 1980s for these guys. And then you'll see how it says stored ships, and I have a mess load of ships there, or a few ships, and then the facilities, there's a mess load of facilities. Every place is different. Some places have shipyards. Some places you can go and repair and refuel. Some places you'll land and regret it because they don't have fuel. But there's actually people that are on a Facebook following. They're called the fuel rats. They're a pretty big thing. And if you break down in space because you misjudge your fuel when you're plotting and stuff, you can reach out to them on Facebook, and they will come find you somehow. They will come find you and actually refuel you. I'm not kidding, like literally right now, and send you on your way. It's pretty neat. Okay, so my ships are here. What we're looking for is that Imperial Eagle. So let's get this going. All right, Karen. See you when you get back. This is probably going to be a ridiculous drive. It's 18 jumps, huh? Wow. Okay, let me see if we can make that faster. Oh wow, so this would normally be... And now what that means by jumps is you can't just... Well, I guess to warp from one area to the next, I don't really know how to describe it without getting into the entire theory of stuff, and I'm not entirely sure how much I grasp of it because it's literally just theory, but it's the basic kind of principles that say Star Trek space travel is bent on. You bend time and space, and you're warping from one spot to the next by creating an anomaly or so by bending time and space. You fold, so like if you want to go from point A to B, but it would take you 40 light years to go there, which basically means however long it takes there. I don't know how long it takes for the speed of light to go. It's 40 years or so, but you'll be traveling at that speed for 40 years before you get there. So say you want to go to A and B and it's 40 years, okay? We're about to jump 100 and... I don't know. We'll find out here in a second. How many it is total. Galaxy. A little laggy there for a sec. Holy crap. I think that just got me a little dizzy. Get up there. Oh, jeez. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. It's 464 light years, okay? So we would never travel this in our lifetime. I mean, our great-great-great-great-grandkids might make it there. It'd be that type of expedition, you know? It take 5 generations of family to normally travel this distance. So basically you want to go from point A to point B, but you want to do it in a shorter period of time. What we're going to do here is probably going to take us an hour to travel. And that would be like the Enterprise in Star Trek traveling an hour at their maximum warp or whatever it would be, since I'm trying to go the fastest. What it'll take them an hour is what would take us normally 464 years. So what it is you create like this anomaly, you mess with, you make a tear in time and space, and so we're standing here on Earth, but we want to go this distance away. When we create that thing, it basically takes that distance, folds it in half on top of our location, and then I guess we warp to it or something. Like I said, I don't really have a real good deep grasp on the theory, but that's the general idea of how we travel this distance incredibly fast. Which is why we can't actually do this exploration in the real world, because we haven't figured out the technology or the advancements we need to do so. Alright, so sorry for the delay on that. We're going to get back to the point here. Oops. There's that sun, that star.
Cannot comply. Frameshift drive charging.
Alright, now we're going to actually do hyperspace jump, which is basically warping. Holy cowsers. So, we're we're warping. I wish I could give you an outside view on that. And believe me. But, ooh, slow down a little. Alright, let's just go ahead and put the brakes on here for a second. I have a scoop on my thing, and what it does is it allows me to fly close to the suns, or the different stars, and I could soak up the energy and refuel. So, because if you go from, not every star you could refuel off of, and not everywhere's got a place that you want to go through the process to stop and refuel at. So this is the fastest way to do so in between flights. If you want to actually take notes on that, Isaac, and you're still watching, you got a pen and a paper. KGB FOAM. If it's got that type of star, you can fuel off of it. Alright, we'll go ahead and accelerate ourselves back up into the blue here on the throttle. And find our location for our next jump. Line us up. And before we get too far away, I try to give you a little bit of a look at that as we fly away from it. Oh, got my lights on. But there's kind of an idea of the game there. I mean, flying away from that to, as you can see, we're really whipping. These are little baby stars and dust and debris and fragments of who knows what. Space feces. No, I don't know, flying by. It is, I'd like to get us to a better area. That's why I say, you know, I'll get a little more time to research it. Now that I got done farming that stuff that I had to do doing that grinding, I can try to map out an actual exploration thing and do that over the next few days, get an actual time window here where I can do it. Facebook group, I believe it's called Elite Dangerous. Yeah, if you want to add me, you can send me an invite, Isaac, and you know, you get to going in the game. I can help you out. I play just about every day for a few hours in this evening. I don't know where you are, but I'm Central U.S. right now. It's about 10 p.m., quarter after 10 almost. So I usually play in the evenings. But I'd be more than willing to help you out. Some other links and things like that I could send you a screenshot of. that would really be helpful for you when you're getting into it. That way, if you decide to do marketing or whatever you want to do, as far as your job, I've tried all kinds of different things, and I still haven't made up my mind what it is I want to do for a living in the game. I just kind of dabble in everything, and that's just it. You do it as your whim. You come home working all day, and you're like, I'm frustrated. I want to go take it out on some pirates. So you can go bounty hunt, take it out on some pirates. You feel like, you want to be a pirate that day, fine, and do so. Thank you. So I mean, you really have that. Philly, huh? Nice. Never been to Philly. There's definitely a couple different guys on YouTube that I follow. I'm not sure that they're aware I follow, but they actually have been extremely informative to me. Here in a few minutes when I get to land. Well, it's not going to be landing anytime soon. I forgot. I got a lot of jumps ahead of us, so I'm going to go in here. And I'll actually look that up for you. Let's see here. Oh, watch out for that star. Every time I do a jump like this, even knowing I've done probably several hundred jumps now, it still feels like I'm going to run into that star every time. And I make sure I scan every system when I go here, because when you enter a system, your normal ship scanners will give you a small proximity scan. Oh shoot, I need to get fuel here. One minute. It'll give you like a brief proximity kind of scan, but it doesn't continuously scan. Come on, get that fuel scoop out. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Drop my throttle and park our butt here for a sec. Okay. Yes. Yes, it is. Okay, so, sorry, I lost my train of thought there. I realized I don't really want to get too far without fueling. I have made this trek out here, but I'm not so sure how far I can go in between stars with fueling and stuff like that. So I just make it a general rule of thumb when I go from star system to star system, I constantly fuel. Because I have ran out once. The other stream that's on my YouTube channel, which is Clausura. I don't know. I only did one other stream. That was my very first one. This is my second try at it. I actually did a simple run. Like, I picked up a mission. Let me think what it was. I think it was bringing data to somewhere and a passenger, and I dropped off the passenger and the data at the star system or the star station I had to go to or whatever, and I was on my way back to what I consider home base at the time, and like I was describing that one white star, it was a white dwarf star I guess or something like that, and it had those blue ribbons, and that's the one I was telling you about. It looked like it was a tiny little star off in a distance, but it was actually much closer, and the gravity was incredible. That was my first time actually dying from turning in a mission and going to come back home. But yeah, that's actually on my YouTube, so if you want, you could check that out, and that'll give you kind of a basic idea what it looks like to go through your standard hand. And hey, have a good night, bro. Okay, scan. Whoa, really close. Drop me out of... If you get too close to something like that, it can drop you out of this super cruise. And to know if you're doing super cruise or not, it is these lines on the side here is your frame shift. You have to use your frame shift drive, your FSD drive, to initiate the sequence like that, the hyper shift or whatever. So as you pick up speed, it shifts like that. It kind of makes me think of like a movie theater frames. That's how I remember it anyway. But there, we'll get ourselves turned upside down here towards our target. Okay, yeah, I'll have to jump. I'll have to do that once we land. Not sure what I can get away with. The last time I tried to do some when I do this later at night and I'm kind of sleepy and stuff, I'll put on some Spotify and listen to what is it, space metal or something like that. I like that stuff. It's pretty wild and keeps me awake. And if I do that, it'll suspend the game. It'll actually kick me out, and I'm not sure if that'll end the broadcast. So I don't want to end the broadcast on us. All right. So once I get us to this area, this should be good to land, and then I can accept your friend request there. So I don't know if I'll actually get to it here too soon. See, as I scan the system when I come in, like I said, I spent quite a bit of money. I think it was $1.5 million or so. It took me a little while to make it to get like the best scanner I could buy, and doing that made a big difference. When I come in the system, I get a pretty decent scan, but like I said, it only gives me usually a few things. And then when I do the deep scan like that, you've seen that it gives me many more things. What that means basically is if you go to your system map, it'll bring up this immediate star system that we're in. Now, if I didn't scan it, it only showed the one thing. It probably would only just show the star, maybe the asteroid belt. But because of that deeper scan, it penetrated much farther in the system. And what I mean by that is, let's see here, this is 3,390. So basically 4,000 light seconds. So think of 60 seconds as an hour. And do that math on that, I guess. It might be what it means. Light seconds might mean that if they use it in our timetable. I'm not sure. But yeah, the long-term scan gave me this big thing. It said like 35 items. Well, that literally probably gave me every single thing in the system. And then it might have even gave me a planet scan. No, I guess not. No planet scan. So I think that's official right there. I could go to that planet and well, discover it for myself, I guess. Now, if I had the other ship, I could have done that, perhaps. But the other ship doesn't get to jump great distances. Like this one will jump almost 30 light years a pop, which is pretty significant. I think the highest in the game that I know of right now is somewhere around 47 light years a jump, I believe. So there's that many more star systems you can cover per jump, which makes your distance much quicker. Instead of me taking 4 hours to go to a location, it could take 10 minutes in comparison. Especially if I stop messing around and actually get on the ball here, we'd pretty much be there already. Whoa, getting close. Gotta get away from that star. Burning up. Holy cow, we're really burning up. Alright. Got a little warm there. This star will burn you up. Just go ahead and get the heck out of here and get away from that thing.
Frameshift drive charging.
It's taking a little bit more time than I thought to do this evening, guys. Sorry. I kind of wanted to be thorough with showing you what's going on here. I just love how this looks. I see. There's 2 scans when I came in, 5 and then 7, or 3 and then 7, and then 28 more when I did the deep scan. That's pretty cool. I'm pretty confident that we'll be alright for now. This thing can go quite a ways without constantly fueling, so get that going here. But I'll be honest, there's a lot of this. You don't actually like get out of your ship and walk around. I don't know if they're ever going to do stuff like that, but there's a lot of different things you can do. It's a lot of flying, but it's worth it. Very rewarding if you're patient. I mean, I'm making a lot of this look pretty easy, but believe it, when you're doing it and you're at the controls, you have the chance where you can get just as spooked as you can get as excited. I remember my first weeks of flying this thing, and it's just woo, freaking out every time I get sucked into the star a little bit. Now I'm kind of used to it to some extent, you know, but a lot of it still remains to be extremely rewarding. Alrighty, get pretty much got enough fuel for the moment now. I go ahead and get back to traveling here. I believe we got 13 and 12 more jumps to go. Unexplored, unexplored. Yeah, doesn't it? Ooh, we're a little close. Yeah, I kind of, when I first started, it was kind of had that, like, Deep Space Nine-ish kind of feel, you know? I love staring off into the space, though. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Oh, nebulas. Maybe that's what we should do in a couple days, is we'll go and, guess I should get me looking the right direction here when I'm trying to do the camera. Still trying to learn the controls of this. You have to excuse me for that. Good question. 11 more jumps. Probably about, I would say 20 minutes if I just get on it. I just wanted to show you guys a little bit of the space. It gets kind of boring staring at the dash right here. Yeah, we were actually talking on the Facebook community the other night. I wasn't personally, but a good friend of mine was, and some of the community was, and they were making different suggestions. And he was making a suggestion about an in-game radio station with Elite that would not only be kind of like a Grand Theft Auto video game, kind of humorish, but maybe not so deep and nasty, you know. There's a comical kind of thing, and some other stations, but more importantly would report like the Galnet storyline to us, so you could actually, instead of having to read while you're trying to fly, you'd be able to actually listen to it and find out what's going on and different things like that. The game developers seem to really take a lot in from the community. This game's been around for a few years I'm certain of on PC, more recently on console, and they seem to take a lot of ideas into serious consideration. This game did not start with aliens, I don't believe. Should I rephrase that? I don't believe it started with aliens and stuff. It was just pretty much a space simulator, I believe. And then they've expanded quite a bit on that since. Quite a bit, actually. Slow down here and get us some free fuel. Down to about half a tank. I love that scanner. It really gets me what I want. That star is bright. Wow. And if your brightness is turned up too high on your TV like it appears to be on mine, I'm sorry for that. It seems to be pretty bright. There's our the poop stain in the galaxy, right, nephew? Hey, thanks for joining us. Yeah, they sure have been. Thank you for that, Crafty. Yes, been around 1984. Wow, I didn't realize it's been around quite so long. I thought that perhaps that was, like this different installment of the game or so. But that would, maybe that's why the community is so developed and so helpful, and not like a negative gaming community in any sort of way, really. I've played all kinds of MMORPGs now, whether it be in EverQuest or World of Warcraft or any of them, and they all have their ups and downs in all respects, and you always have your a-holes, if you will, no matter what. With that being said, the community here seems to be extremely supportive and neighborly. That's what I'm looking for. They're very neighborly. Yeah, absolutely. Never felt so at home in a community before. Oops. Slow down. So I mentioned earlier about habitable space. This is not the tab I meant to do. This would be the Galnet tab. Galnets, think of them as your major news entity across the galaxy, constantly giving us all the information we need to know about whom and what they're eating, when and where and why and how they plan on eating it next. So habitable space. Mention different factions and come into play. And what is going on here? Overview. No, I didn't. Okay, well, I don't need that so much as this nasty bubbly stuff here. It would be habitable space. This is where humans are basically the most concentrated in the galaxy. As you can see, it's ginormous. But yes, habitable space, and the different colors represent different factions, holdings, their territories, their power, and the expanse of it. Didn't want to forget to do that since I mentioned it earlier and forgot to touch base on it. I mentioned earlier about how the theory of the time traveling, the warping here, how it bends, or it makes a tear and folds time upon itself, or space on itself, from A and B. Well, that's why when I hit frame shift by that star, it's pulling a cone of everything behind me in the universe to fold it over itself, kind of, or something to that extent. I'm not sure. It's like I said before, don't quote me on it. My understanding of the theory really kind of sucks. But it brings the heat in that star much closer to me before I jump, like you're seeing here. So if you are playing this and new to it, make sure that you jump when that star is safely behind you, in a way. And always scan. Always scan. You don't always have to go to the system navigation beacon to scan, but I would always scan and don't rely just on your proximity scan when you enter the system. I want to thank everybody for joining and watching me. This is my second broadcast, so it's not full of jokes and comedy and all kinds of good stuff, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask. If I have an answer, I will be more than willing to help you or guide you in a direction of where I think you can get that answer. Six more jumps. Oh, another tip that, I just thought of. When you start the game the very first time, they have orbit lines turned on. Uh-oh. Yeah. Pull me in. So orbit lines here. Let's get myself going here so I can show you what I mean by that. So, kind of the way it sounds, it shows you a ring around the different planets, or masses I should say, out here in space, and the way that they have an orbit. So all these lines right here that you're seeing are all a different orbit. And if I could find something, there we go, there's something in that guy. Oh, that's my ship. Getting blind here. Somewhere in there, in these rings, there will be something, whether it's a chunk of rock or a planet, a moon, space station. It'll be orbiting that star, that sun that I just left. And as you can see, the farther we get away, you'll start seeing, yes, I'm sure you're seeing this now. So all these is the orbits that these are orbiting the gravitational field and the pull from that specific star in this star system. So when we were in, like, say, Sol system, you'd have the sun, and then, you have, Mercury and Venus and Mars and Earth and all of them. Okay, we would have something similar to this where we would have our own orbits set up out there. Sorry for the delay there. Alright. Hey, thanks for joining us. Give you a little update. I'm basically just heading back, doing some mission turn-ins, scanner missions to be exactly, planet scan for data, out in Quince. And I'm on my way back to, I guess, my temporary home base, where I'm going to pick up my fighter jet and go do a little bounty hunting for the community mission. So as I was mentioning about these orbit lines in the last system, if you're doing a fuel scoop like this, okay, I don't see how it's really going to work out for me this time. But usually the orbit line shows up right here, across, and you can keep it kind of right around your top of your screen there, and that'll keep a good balance where you won't overheat by getting drawn into the gravitational pull here, or the magnetic pull, I guess, of the star, while you're refueling. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. There's the orbit line. So you basically keep that about like right here. If you're moving, or you can just slow down to a stop and literally park yourself here at your sweet spot where you're getting the maximum per second draw off of the star. It'll be fine. Or will it? Will he burn up? Or will he be fine? Okay, so I don't know if you're still watching, Isaac. I just finally got a chance to look it up. My phone was kind of down on the fritz there, but I got it going. Obsidian Ant is the YouTube guy that's been pretty helpful to me so far. I mean, I've seen a couple other ones, but for the most part I got lucky, I guess, or this guy got lucky that I came across his feed first, but he's been extremely informative in all kinds of things Elite Dangerous, so I would definitely recommend checking out some of his stuff. He's got some good guides on what not to do and things you should do, all kinds of different things like that. And there's many others out there too that I can't remember, but sorry for that, for those that are out there.
Frameshift drive charging.
Alright, 3 more jumps. Thank you. Thank you, Crafty. I did not know about Chaos Wolf. I have actually, I did try something Elite many years ago, back when it was on PC. It might even have been a Tandy PC, I don't know. I mean, it was a long time ago, so it's very likely it was sometime in the late 80s, around 1990 or something. But, yeah, so I'm fairly new to the game. I have not played it that long back then, and I've just recently gotten back into it, say probably in the last 2 months, more like the last month and a half or so.
Frameshift drive charging.
Yeah, no kidding. Green screen, Pong. Ah, darn it.
Frameshift drive charging.
I should probably refuel a little bit more there, but that's alright. Oh, rep change. Cool. Yeah, those were the days. Here's a good example of a star you can't fuel off of. It's not all of them you can fuel off of. It's a good thing this guy's can go quite a distance there.
Frameshift drive
The
charging.
next one is M. These standard that KGB foam kind of idea, and this one will be fueling at. Well, I actually know we don't need the fuel. Campbell Horizons, you never look so good.
Disengaged.
436 light years later, or whatever it was. No. No, it does not, Karen. Sure wish it did. Ooh, I better slow down and do a little evasive maneuver here. Get myself lined up. If you're playing and you're sort of new to this, when you're lining up, you notice on the right hand of my radar screen there's a little bar that's lighting up in the blue. That's your ideal throttle positioning, I suppose, for the semi-autopilot to kind of slow you down and kick in, with the tracking bars for distance and speed on the left of my screen. They all kind of work in conjunction with each other to help slow you down to reach the perfect speed and everything to brake your super cruise without causing damage to your shields and hull, or otherwise burning yourself up into a crisp. Yeah, what you seen there to the left wasn't something about to smack into me. That was actually, and we're going to safe disengage out of the super cruise now so we don't burn up. It'll safely just slow down. Anyway, that guy was doing the same thing we're doing, which is coming into the system. What you've seen that looked like a comet was actually another ship. Although he's not showing up the system right this second. Might have been an authority vessel. Okay, now this one has auto dock, so you're in for a treat.
Access authorized. Please head directly for Bay 2.
There's other ships flying around. Those are the Federales. Making sure nobody with illegal cargo is coming in or trying to blow up the station or none of that good stuff, you know. No terrorism here. So what you're seeing is the bottom end of my ginormous ship, my aircraft carrier. This is our star station, or starport, whatever you want to call it, Campbell Horizons. Where we just came from was Imperial faction, and this is Federal. So this is more your United States. I guess the Imperial will be more like, I don't know, other other entities. Or I guess right now we're kind of at war with each other and stuff like that. Some sort of race. I guess it would be more like Russia or something, or China maybe. I'm not sure if that's accurate. Not. I just mean another foreign superpower, not so much specifically those nationalities, but this is your inside of your starport. And our docking.
Confirmed contact. Perform landing checklist.
Alright, I'm gonna enter this hangar and slip out of these jeans and put on the work pants, otherwise known as the Imperial Eagle ship. Like these little ships, they're pretty fun to fly around. They, what I like to call a glass cannon. They put down some serious damage and maneuverability, but they're kind of like that fly zinging around your face when you're trying to play a game. Eventually you smack it just ever so slightly and it goes down in a ball of smoke. Okie dokie, so shipyard. Ooh, there's an idea. Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all, actually. Yeah, no, it's set up for mining. I don't want to use that for combat right now. Okay, but for those that know what all that is, that's how I'm set up. Obviously I need some work at my combat experience. I'm sorry, what was that? Not sure where you see that. Also, another reason why I use the smaller ships like the Eagles or the Sidewinder that you start with is simply because they're cheap to replace. Yes, sure does. I didn't realize that's what you meant, yes. It's kind of neat too. The Imperial faction's got more of your imperialistic tone to it. Yeah, I was kind of kidding with my roommate, you know, thinking that it would be neat if they just played, you know, dun 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 dun. You know, I play my favorite Star Wars things to come in there. Okay, Campbell Station. It's been a little while. What are we looking for? Uh-oh, where was I supposed to turn that in? Oopsie. Oh man, that was supposed to be turned in all the way back there at Quince. I'll be going back next day or so. Okay, so let's see here. I want 10. Do I want 10? Yeah, we're going to 10. I'll target 10 for now. Ooh, I better check my... Okay. My loadout's good. Well, it's not just when I auto-dock. I'm sorry, Karen. It actually does that just period with the star ports.
Landing restraints lifted. Moderate speed on exit.
Landing gear retracted.
Let's go pick a fight. So this is what the Imperial Eagle looks like. It's got all these pretty blues on it and stuff. That's kind of why I like it. And bye-bye to this today's port there. Oh, my first stream when I crashed into that white dwarf star, torched myself. Yes, that was a good time.
Frameshift drive charging. 4, 3, 2, 1. Engage.
Alright, check my mods. That's not good. I don't ever have cargo. Uh-oh, I don't have my warrant scanner with me. So you see all these orbit rings that are out here? They, I'll leave that turned on for now. But you'll get to see, as we get closer, you think we're going to go to a planet, and then it'll actually have smaller things orbiting around it. And it gets more interesting as you go. There's also, I have another ship. The one, I don't know, when I was going through my ships, and you've seen in one of the very big ones, that the first ones that I went through was called the Nebuchadnezzar. That would be an Asp Explorer. That thing is a big beast of a ship. It's awesome, I like it. It's pretty much your multi, do whatever you want, Millennium Falcon kind of ship. That ship is the type where you can have crew with you. So like, if you got into the game yourself, Karen, you could jump into my ship, into the seat next to me, and we can go and shoot stuff together, or you can go and we can do cargo missions together, go mining together, you can passenger missions and things together. There's lots of different things like that. You can go exploring together, land on planets, take off in our little SRVs or whatever they call them, and cruise around, you know, exploring and searching for things, alien artifacts, weird places. I'm really looking forward to getting more involved into the stuff with the story, with the aliens and stuff like that, because it's something I have no idea about, but it seems to be pretty cool so far. Some kind of machine or something, I think, that's built into the planet. There's different tunnel systems that different people were exploring, different captains and commanders were exploring. Keep thinking all these circles are targeting circles or something, and they're not. They're different types of little mini orbits and little orbits. Okay, so now what we want to do is find a high resource extraction point. And so people are out here mining, shooting asteroids with laser beams to get resources and different materials, whether it be gold or aluminum or lithium or all kinds of weird good stuff, to make lots of money. Pirates will be trying to rob their bums. We're gonna go put a stop to that ass. Robbing people. We'll see if we can find somebody to shoot at here before we call it an evening. too bad I'm going in on the dark side of this. Let's see just how gorgeous it can be. Slow down, slow down, slow down. And this is the asteroid belt. I'll get as close as I can without busting myself, but... Perfect. Coming upside down. Perfectly placed. Oh man, really? I'm not taking on a whole wing of people right now. So don't have the talent for that. Whoopsie. Oh, that awesome flying. Guess you probably didn't expect that to happen. Those guys are all in the wing. Not seeing any federales. Commander, what's his face, huh? That's what we want. Yo, Federale. I would normally not do this. Sometimes I guess I do, but which is follow the Federales around their system vessels and I'm sorry if this makes you nauseous. No, don't. Did he just... I said, don't you dare leave the system, dude. He's clean. At least he's cleaning this system. There's a whole wing of wanted stuff out there. Combat. There we go. As I say, I seen the green flash. So either one of two things has happened. He took off, which it appears that he totally wussed out and took off. Or that he's shooting at one of these three guys in the wing. Yeah, he took off. Wait a second. I just heard something. That's what I thought. What the hell? That's what we want. Let's go play with the bad guys. Screw that. Now you're going down, buddy. Or not. The Federale, they took that guy out. I guess I'm glad I didn't shoot yet. I can't take three of them. Ah, oh, dang it. You bunghole. Oh wait, what do we got here? Ah. Alrighty, well. No, do not. Good night, buddy.
Target destroyed.
Night night. And that is what victory looks like. How much was that guy for? Almost 100,000. Not a bad bounty. He must have been whacking the people for a while. Oh, cool. Some more, huh? No. Get the right one. Get the right... 45,000. Doesn't pay to break the law, y'all. Alrighty. Yeah, I'm hitting my 2-hour mark here on my stream, and definitely getting close to my bedtime. Hope you enjoyed my second stream tonight. It was kind of like an aimless thing, but I didn't want to disappoint and not give you guys something. So I'm glad you all stay tuned and watched the next couple days or so. Maybe Wednesday, we'll go on an exploration run and actually go try and maybe explore a nebula or something like that. It's just something we haven't tried yet. And that is all she wrote.